Beepity boopity. We are live. I should probably launch the game. Nice.
Going well all around.
Servers up. Just to suffer. Good to know that the frame rate counter in the top right is still broken after the update today. Also, it's nighttime, but I want to do a fun stream reveal before we sleep. Because obviously my bed is in my project. There's a spooky guy over there. Eatadadins. Oh, Leo, did I tell you that the primer, the black primer I bought, I accidentally bought gloss black? Yeah. Look how shiny this boy is.
Oh wow. Honestly, that just looks cool.
It does. I reckon as soon as I put paint on it, it's just going to adopt the shininess of whatever paint I put on, but it wasn't my intention. The camera's not going to focus on that for sure. Oh, it did. It wasn't my intention to make a boy that looks like he's been oiled up, but...
Fabricated.
That is the outcome regardless. Oh. Did you not build a way up? Yeah, I'm waiting for people to arrive so I can do like a reveal of my build.
Can you build more?
Yeah, a bit. It's obviously not done, but I'm gonna need to go get far more slate and marble.
Oh, it's very high up.
Friggin' bug. Haha, I caught you. Fly landed directly on my screen and I managed to grab it. It's dead now.
Build a hill.
Did I build the hill? No, I built it on top of the hill.
Oh, it's over there. I was like, how...
Were you looking for the entrance? Yeah, I wanted a spot that was like facing the house. Yeah. I left the door open. I didn't see it close. Oh no, it did. Yeah. Never mind. Never mind. Well, Bashimi is late, so I'll show it off without Bashimi being here. So this is the entrance to, well, the first entrance. We got like a nice tunnel stairway that leads up to the tower. What? Yeah. The problem is I don't really know where to take it from here. Like it's gonna go up quite like straight and like not get narrower for a little bit, but then I don't really know where to take it from there. I'm gonna add a bit more. I'm probably gonna add like stairs and stuff to make it more like smoothed and less blocky. Oh, hello, Bashimi. But yeah, we've also got an interior. It's not also not done yet. I don't have much. Like, these are obviously not staying here. This is my bed. We can sleep now.
Fucking left.
Experiencing some technical difficulties. You're going audio only. Damn. Not even internet anymore. That's not even the excuse anymore. I think you just don't like looking at my face. I think that's the real reason. Got a cat hair in my eye. Beer time. My last one.
I need to finish.
The hoose. Then yeah, I've got like a spirally staircase that leads up to here, and then yeah, a ladder to nowhere. Are you? It's a weird thing to be a fan of. I quite like the light temple windows though, they're very nice. I was gonna mix them up and also have some of the dark temple windows, but those just look like dungeons. They're like...
How do I get the beach branches?
I don't know. Cheers. Beep beep boop. But yeah, the dark dungeon windows are just kind of black windows with like bars on them. They're not as nice. They don't look as nice. God, even audio only can't save this shit. Oh dear. But if it's any reassurance, Bashimi, I found a setting on Twitch that allowed me to turn off intermittent mid-roll ads. I found out that's something I could turn off because I don't need it on because I make no money off of ads on Twitch. I basically only get paid for subscriptions once every like 5 months.
And confirm the shit.
Not the shears then. Have you tried Googling it? These marble bricks are probably not going to stay... Well, a lot of them will, but I'm probably going to add more texture than just marble bricks. It's not just going to be a sudden just white column. I need to go make more. I am out. Marble's interesting because once you make it into bricks, you can't make it back again. So like once you make it from cobble into bricks, it's bricks forever. You can't make it back into cobble. Same with any stone.
You can.
New. I have
branch table.
Should be stacking.
How the fuck do I make a branch table? It's literally called a branch
Keep
table.
some on the cobble. Is that should be stacking because I have the stacking mod. Hello? Stacking in my backpack, isn't it? Yeah. What if I put it in my backpack? No, I can't stack marble brick for some reason. Strange. Oh, I just... Yeah, I can stack other things. Just maybe the bricks you can't stack more than 100, like the actual building materials. Whereas like resources you can. There's an internet relay tower thing that fell a few days ago and now the whole town and some other nearby one barely have any internet. They say they can't do anything about it until the 25th. That is insane. That's actually just insane. The fact that you'd think that sorting something like that out would be a huge priority with how much of the planet revolves around internet now. Like a town not having internet is like huge. At least in the UK, that would be huge. Because like me and Leo have both worked in places where like the internet breaking has meant that they couldn't even use like card machines. They could only accept cash when that happened for like a whole day, and it was a huge problem.
I cannot craft branches.
Have you looked up how to get them?
Yeah.
Is there actually a way, or do you have to have creative?
You can't.
You just have to have creative. So you're following a house tutorial where you have to have creative to actually build it.
I'm definitely not spawning them.
I didn't re-download not just enough items. That makes spawning stuff in way easier. I forgot about that one. You would have thought that they would have said like near the start of the tutorial, like, by the way, you need creative to build this.
Yeah.
It's just rude. It's a rural area. If it fell in a field or some hard to access area, they kind of need to bring more people in our area. That's a fucking Herculean task, apparently. Is it? Like, is it really that big of a task, though? It just sounds like an excuse they're making. Because if there's one thing anybody involved in any kind of internet likes doing, it's making excuses. I can actually see your house from here. Yeah. Can you see my tower?
Bitch.
Like, I understand people have to get there to be able to fix it, but like, it's the 21st century and trains exist, and like, even in rural areas, I'm sure you have at least a train line that goes to your town in some way, or at least close. Oh yeah, you can just see it. I don't know. It's just annoying when something is like actually kind of a big deal and they're just like, yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it. People don't need internet for their livelihoods in the 21st century. It's not 2026 where every single business uses internet to operate to at least some extent, no matter what it is. You don't need internet to access your emails, work documents, bank details, or like literally anything else that we require as human beings to survive in this society. Especially because I don't know what it's like over there, but like the UK has very much become a cashless society. At least where we live. Like, no one carries cash on them. No businesses even really ask for cash.
Unless you're a tattoo studio.
Yeah, I was going to say, the only businesses I know that still ask for cash is tattoo studios. But even then a lot don't. Like, you don't have trains near you. That does surprise me, though, because trains, like, even in rural towns here have trains.
Oh, fucking...
What am I doing? I'm kind of just running around. We keep building, I guess. Just keep building. Can you climb, please? Can you, there we go.
I won't lie to you, using these little branches is so fucking annoying.
Is it? What are you actually using them for? Oh, you're obviously building. That doesn't... Are there not other things you can use?
Don't know.
Because you can place down like beams and stuff.
Yeah, but they don't look like the thing.
The rural towns in the south are 90% vine fields, not a lot of space to fit railroads. Railroads aren't that wide. If you can fit a road somewhere, you can fit a railroad somewhere. You only have to have one railroad that crosses over one place. That's what level crossings are for, innit? I'm getting through this marble. Oh, I didn't re-download friggin' vein mining.
Oh.
That would make getting marble a lot quicker. I'm a fool. Yeah, I don't know. I would have thought France would be one of the countries that would actually have invested quite heavily in like train infrastructure. So it surprises me. Boo boo. Where I wanted that. That I definitely don't want it there. The roads are medieval artifacts here. They barely fit cars. I mean, again, the UK. The road that my school used to be on was cobbles. It was cobbles with a tram track in the middle, and the tram hadn't run for like I don't even know how many years. So that there was no reason for that tram track to be there. And it was all cobbles. It was an interesting road. The rural south is a very peculiar thing here, to be honest. From what I remember, it's better in the north on that front. Fair. I think in the UK it's the opposite. I think it's worse in the north. Plus in the north you have northerners, and that's just... That's just a thing all in itself. Get them into the wrong brick. Yeah, you can, when you make bricks in this, you can change them between different brick types, but you can't like make them back into cobble. I wish if I picked up a torch, it re-put it in my slot where I'm holding the torches in my offhand. But then Minecraft doesn't do that, so I can't really blame the game for it. It's not doing it any worse than Minecraft. I think I just tried to rub sleep out of my eye and rubbed it into my eye instead. How are we in the way of food at the moment?
Oh, wait, yeah, I do. There's a chest outside of our house with cooked meals.
Hey. I've only got 2 pies left.
Bless me.
Bless you.
Oh, no.
Hello, Carolyn. How's it going?
Oh, fuck.
I realise I need to change my ladder behaviour. I changed it thinking it would be better, and it isn't. Where is it? No, I know what's the thing. Is it in controls? Crouch, sprint, walk. Where's ladder behavior? I've got it set so that down is always down regardless of where I'm looking, but I don't actually like it. Is it just in general? Gameplay? Took you 6 hours to download a 4 GB file yesterday. Shit is bad. Yeah, that is rough. That's pretty rough. Where the fuck? Probably it would be in controls, but it's not. Where have they moved this option? Mouse? No. It's not going to be in video. This is where you can see that the in the top right corner the frame rate counter is nonsense, because I have my frame rate capped at 120 and it's currently reading out 400 and something. If I turn unlimited FPS on and get rid of the cap, the number doesn't change, but my computer suddenly starts screaming at me. It's not camera relative flight, that's flying. It's not auto step up, that's on blocks. I've got crouch auto step up off because I want that off, because then I can crouch and I won't go down blocks. Enable utility quick swap, it's not that. Arachnophobia and ophidiophobia, no. Spawn? Where has this setting gone? So that's in gameplay. What about general, right? I change the camera shoulder. Annoyingly, you can't change what hand you use in the game, which I wish you could, like in Minecraft. So that's user interface. None of this is it. That's not going to make a difference. Preview. Ooh, I wonder if that will help my internet. I'm going to quit to the menu and rejoin. And see if the server issue thing in the corner goes away. If that has solved it and that was just all... Nope. Immediately saw it pop up in the corner. Yep, there it is. That changed to nothing. Interestingly, you're not getting it at the moment. The server issue symbol. Oh yeah, there it is. So where the fuck is this ladder behavior? What has happened? Why have they removed the option, but like... They've removed the option after I changed it, so now I can't change it back again. I don't like that. Where is it? Actions, right? It's not going to be here. dismount, drop item, rotate block, switch camera mode. Not gonna be in inventory. It's not creative. Not gonna be menus. Not gonna be builder tools. Selection, boost, brush, entity, machinima, ruler, prefabs, misc. It's not in misc. Debug, it's not in debug. What have they done with this option and why can't I turn it off anymore? I want it gone now. I want it off. I don't want it anymore. Why is the option gone? It was here. It was in this bit here. That's really annoying. That I'm like, actually, I don't like that setting for climbing ladders. I want to change it. Never mind. Never mind, that option's gone now. Did they get rid of the option and reset how it works? No, they just get rid of the option. Cool. Appreciate that. Really fun. Unless I'm really stupid and I've gone past it multiple times in my options, and somehow me reading out all of the options managed to make me skip it over it still. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's not me. Because there was camera relative flight, but there should have also been camera relative climbing. You can see so many mobs around. There's so many spiders. There's one of the... Is that a lizard guy? Oh yeah, because there's a swamp there. The lizard guy got out of the swamp and now he's just roaming the desert. One thing I can't make out of marble or slate, I can make a couple different light sources, but I don't seem to be able to make any chandeliers or anything. So this tower doesn't get any hanging lights. Is Leo here? The audio quality is so bad I'm not even sure I heard him or not. Yeah, he is here.
Yes.
He's just his usual quiet self. And that's me out of marble. I don't even have any marble cobble. Just out. Oh, that means I'm gonna go mine more, and I don't have vein mining, and also adamantite pickaxes, despite being the strongest pickaxe you can make in the game right now, break in barely any hits. I don't know why the durability is so low on items in this game. There's a lot of things I like in this game. The durability, not one of them. I should probably make some repair kits. Oh, it's just a regular workbench, as in the middle. No. There it is. Have you moved and upgraded the workbench yet? It's not upgraded. Did you move? Have you actually picked up the other one? The one in our old home?
Everything from our old house.
Like everything?
Yeah.
Okay. That means I should be able to fully upgrade the workbench because all the materials for it have been brought. Except apparently we have no essence of fire. Is it too far away? Which chest is the essence of fire in? Where's that? It's right next to the workbench. Oh, now it says we've got it. I just had to open the chest for some reason. The game not having music is kind of sad from my perspective. It does have music. It's playing music right now. It's faded out. As soon as I said that, it's faded out.
Can confirm it does have music.
But it does have music and it has been playing. So it's got like strings and stuff.
I'm definitely not in creative. By the way.
Are you in creative?
No.
You cheating?
It's so fucking hard to build in this game because you have to be at the exact right angle for everything.
No, you press R.
No, not necessarily,
blocks.
because blocks can rotate like both ways. So you have to be at the right angle for the other way.
What do you mean?
Like, for example, these. So if I wanna, like, say I'm above a block,
Yeah.
I can rotate something like that. But then if I'm below a block, I get other options. If I'm this side of a block, I'm this way. Other options.
That's weird. I don't know why they would do it like that. Right, I need to find somewhere with marble. I'm pretty sure there's some fairly near our old house. Without just dismantling the temple.
You sure is what I did.
No, I mean the main big portal one.
Which I'm pretty sure is what I did.
I mean,
Accident.
it's most of it's still there. There is definitely music, and I can definitely see Streamlabs is picking it up. I can turn it up a bit. Turn everything else down and turn music up. It's fairly quiet and ambient rather than just like having constant songs that just play at you. You don't have the Minecraft kalimba music to be soothing at first and then drive you insane after the 500th hour. I pretty much exclusively play Minecraft with like most of the sound, including music, off. There's some marble. Do I also go into creative to build? Because I don't think anybody's going to want to watch me gather marble for half an hour.
Mine was less about the reason. Place items.
I mean, like, I'll be able to get the marble. It's just going to be annoying and take ages. I like having a cheat button to just go straight into creative. don't know why I made so much of that. I'm in creative, I have infinite, but I did. Being a hag who hates watching things online and loves my neat pile of files actually helps sometimes. Oh, I just broke a hole in my wall. I'm kind of the opposite. I like to have space, sleep. I like looking at my big, like, massive storage drive and seeing that, like, half of it is empty and that I've got loads of room in case I need to download games and stuff. Rather than storing a bajillion movies that I'm probably not going to watch. I can just stream the movies. Your friend keeps mocking you for trying to download and everything, but at least you can still have things running in the background. I mean, I'm amazed that you could even download anything on your old internet. Probably took you like the entire weekend just to download a 720p movie. I spent 3 weeks downloading Shrek in 1080p, but it was worth it. Because now I can watch Shrek in 1080p. My favorite is when people talk about, like, having a big, drive full of movies that they've downloaded, like a dedicated storage drive full of movies, and they're like, yeah, I've got like every movie I could want to watch downloaded in 4K. I don't have a 4K screen, but like when I do, that 4K is gonna be great. Hello, George. Oh, George, news for you as well. I said earlier for Bajimi, but I found a setting in Twitch that allowed me to turn mid-roll ads off on Twitch because they don't pay me shit for that, so there's no point having it. Used to need 2 days to download games. I did, depending on the game and where it came from. Like, games that weren't even particularly big would take so long to download because of how poorly they were compiled. Like Payday 2, it didn't matter how fast my internet was, Payday 2 would take like 6 hours to download. Because it would download like 100 megabytes, and then it would unpack that 100 megabytes and take like 5 minutes unpacking it for some reason, and then download 100 and then unpack it, and then rather than downloading all of it then unpacking it, it would download a bit, unpack, download a bit, unpack, and it would take all day for a game that isn't very big. But Payday 2 was a mess in general. Like, that game, I don't even know how old it was at the point I stopped playing it, and they still hadn't figured out how to make mice actually, like, constrain. Like, if you had a 2-monitor setup and you looked in the direction of the other monitor and then clicked, it would click off of Payday. And they just never fixed it. I loved that game, but, like, it was a unfinished mess. You love watching the same movies over and over again, so having a hard drive of movies is crucial to your lifestyle. I mean, I can do the same. I just stream them. And, like, I don't pay for Netflix or anything, because fuck that. I just stream them. I stream them in 4K, in fact. I've got a 4K screen I watch them on. That's how I play most of my games. I rarely play a game without having, like, YouTube or a movie on. Because I have hardcore ADHD.
I'm convinced the person making this tutorial...
Oh.
is chaotic.
Does mean you miss out on some banger soundtracks though. Yeah, I don't know. I've never been a huge one for game soundtracks. Like, sometimes they are great, but like, if a game soundtrack is that good, I'll probably just listen to it separately. If a game is really story driven, it's different. Like, I probably won't be doing something else because I'll miss out on the story of it, because it's like watching two movies at the same time. And then I would get the soundtracks from that. But if it's just like Monster Hunter, it's like, sure, the soundtrack's good, but like, I'd rather have something else playing, honestly. Right, how is this looking? That definitely needs to be taller. If I started like building it out or changing the size again, it's going to be a little bit chody.
I wrote the word scrotum in my work diary today.
Wow.
Actually, no, in fact, I wrote scrotum-y.
Scrotum-y.
Scrotum-y to describe some anemones. I moved them today and I put in the diary, they still looked a bit scrotum-y end of day, so keep an eye on them. And I really hope the person who's on that area tomorrow understands what I mean.
When you were a kid, you spent a whole summer watching the same two movies every night, you alternated every night, and you didn't even like one of them, you just thought your parents would find you weird if you only watched one, so you picked a second.
That's very autistic.
I mean, yeah. My younger sibling used to do that as well. I used to watch a few films, like, a lot. Like, maybe not every single night, but I did watch a few films that we had, like, a lot.
I'm a religious film hater. So.
Yeah, I don't know why you hate films.
I don't actually hate film.
Sad. Right, I need to do something to mix this up. It's too smooth. What were you about to say? You were gonna say you hate something?
Oh, the descend flying button is...
It's the same as crouch.
Yeah, control. Which
Yeah.
I hate because my hand doesn't...
That's how it is in like any game that isn't Minecraft. Minecraft is the weird one for having sneak on shift and sprint on control. Every other game in existence has crouch on control. I actually rebound it in Minecraft because I didn't like it. Because the people that made Minecraft are freaks. And one of them's a racist. I can't actually remember what one of the films I used to watch on repeat was. There were a few. A lot of them not very good. I watched the Avatar movie, not the Airbender one, the Blue People one, quite a lot as a kid, and I don't really know why. I didn't really like it very much. And it's really long. My family used to have a big binder, like a big book full of little see-through plastic sleeves that you put all the DVDs in. Because we had like a huge stash of DVDs, but the DVD boxes would have taken up too much room, so only the DVDs that we were like, those are important, we keep those ones, remained, like the Matrix box set or the Lord of the Rings box set. Watched The Matrix quite a lot as a kid.
I did not watch The Matrix.
Yeah, I know. Which is wild. It's a trans allegory. The creators, who are both siblings, both came out as trans at the same time. They were like, yeah, the Matrix, the whole thing, it's just about being trans. That's annoying. You switch to an OS that necessitates a lot of adjustment and changes in the first weeks right before the internet died in your town. That's the type of luck you're living with. Well, that's what you get for using Linux, honestly. That's just your own fault. Still haven't even tried to move to Linux because every time I look into it, everybody who uses Linux just complains about it. They're like, oh man, I fucking hate Windows. But also, like, unless you really need to move to Linux, don't move to Linux. And I'm like, oh, okay. Right. Really resounding review. Just, like unless you need to, or you have a very good reason to, just don't. Just don't bother. You don't need to. Okay. I guess I won't. Like, I've thought about setting up a virtual machine to download it onto just to get a flavor of it, and I probably still will at some point, but every time I go on Reddit and people are like, how much better is Linux for, like, gaming or anything like that, people are like, honestly, if you're just gaming, don't, just stay with Windows. Just don't bother. Don't switch. You're only making your life harder for yourself. Which is interesting, because the Linux crowd is also the kind of crowd that will be like... They're like the vegans of the text world. They will very much make themselves known without you asking. You never watched The Matrix? And I remember the first time we watched The Matrix was when we did a Matrix marathon at one of my birthdays. Hell yeah. Watch The Matrix. They're good films. Genuinely really like them. I used to play the shit out of the Matrix PS2 game. Matrix... Enter the Matrix. That's the one. I used to play the shit out of that. I never completed it. I never even got close. There was a level I just couldn't get past. And it's actually not a very good game, but I played the shit out of it. I mean, no, it depends. There's a lot of beginner-friendly versions. People are trying to be tryhards. And shit on easy paths, especially on Reddit. No, but even then, there's just a lot of problems with Linux. Like, just the nature of Linux existing, because it's a non-profit, for-free OS, purely means that it's never going to be smooth sailing. It's always going to have problems. But I'm talking about, like, one of the subreddits I was reading about, one of the posts was about Pop OS, where someone was asking about that for gaming, and people were like, honestly, if you're just gaming, just stick with Windows. Like, you don't need to make the change. You're just making your life harder. Which is true. Linux does just make things harder. Just basic compatibility. Even just getting Linux to run with different graphics cards requires jumping through way more hoops than it does with Windows. And, like, I remember when I was talking about, like, I have issues with Windows, don't get me wrong, and I have issues with a lot of platforms that run on Windows, like, anything Adobe is dog shit, and I would never want to support it. And a common thing you see people is like, oh, just get Linux and get DaVinci, and it's like, I run DaVinci on Windows 11 flawlessly, but it definitely doesn't run as good on Linux. Like, examples I've seen, a lot of tech YouTubers and stuff that I trust talk about it quite a lot. It's getting better, don't get me wrong, like especially for gaming, things like Proton, Steam, like because the Steam Deck is a Linux operating system, Steam OS is Linux. Like there are things making improvements, but they're still just not, they still just make things harder than they need to be. But yeah, there's a channel I watch called Dank Pods, who did a AMD Linux, he just did like a test thing. He had like a bunch of different computers with different like AMD and Intel like CPUs, AMD and NVIDIA GPUs, and tried to run every machine that he had on Linux and on Windows and do a like performance test. Pretty much consistently across the board, anything NVIDIA ran better on Windows than it did on Linux. AMD did tend to run a bit better on Linux, like frame rate wise, which, like you just said, AMD has good compatibility with it. That's fine. A bunch of his machines he just couldn't actually get to run. Like, he downloaded the specific versions of them specifically for the GPUs that he had and everything, and just, like, couldn't get them to run. Like, the games just wouldn't launch or anything. And they ran fine on Windows. They would just, like, boot and run on Windows. And, like, I want to say at least, like, 1/3 of the machines that he tried in the video, like, the games just wouldn't run on Linux when they would on Windows on a lot of his machines. Like, I don't know. It doesn't paint a good picture for me where I've been like, do I make the switch? Do I try it? Or will I just spend an hour every day troubleshooting everything? I mean, not gonna lie, the hardest thing to get used to is that you have to learn how to do things yourself without relying on Windows to allow you to do shit. I don't know what you mean in that regard. Like, you just have to learn a new OS and, like, how to do certain things in the OS, or, like, you have to learn how to do things that other OSs natively support, and you have to kind of figure out how to do it without it just being a core feature of the OS. Is that what you mean? But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna download a virtual machine and test someone, I think probably Pop OS at some point, but I don't expect it to like replace Windows and become my daily driver. I just want to see what it's like personally, not just like third-hand like opinions from other people. If you need to make specific manipulations, you can do it. You just have to learn how to navigate the system. I still don't really know what you mean by that, though. What do you mean by specific manipulations? Like resizing windows, or like resizing aspects of the OS, like icons and things? Because I actually downloaded a software on Windows to do a lot of that. Like, I have Windhawk downloaded, which allows me to customize a lot of the stuff that Windows doesn't natively let you customize, but it's actually really easy to customize. How many memories have we got, by the way, Leo? Hello, Tabby Brat. How's it going? You lurking? Nice. I'm gonna go explore the temple and see. Down we go. I want to go to... I removed the one from the temple. Okay, Old Home is closest. It's fine, I'm in creative, I can just fly. I'll make sure to leave creative before I interact with it, just in case in creative it gives you all the memories or something. Hey buddy. If you want to do stuff like making drives auto mount or not, that sort of things. It just seems like it's more complicated for no reason. I don't know. Call me crazy, but I like having an operating system where, like, doing things just works. They have changed the memories. Where, huh? The memory thing is definitely broken. The bar is full. We're at 147 out of 21. I've got no memories to restore, but there's like... The bar is definitely broken. That box... There should be like multiple boxes and there should be something at 200. So who haven't we seen yet? We haven't seen... No, this is definitely broken because it's not listing all of the stuff you can find either. Okay. Memories is broken. Good to know. I have no idea what the final unlock at 200 actually gives us, but we're not finding that out anytime soon. But yeah, even running, like using... Oh, angry. Ow. Even running my Steam Deck, like... Obviously, anything that is on Steam and listed as runs on the Steam Deck usually runs fine. But even then, quite often you find yourself having to like fuck about with the compatibility settings and use different Proton versions and all this stuff just to get a game running. Or like anything that isn't like on Steam always takes a weird like amount of fucking about with just to get running. It works. Like, I have a friend who played Cyberpunk on it and it ran well. Like, stuff works on Linux and the small things you have to keep in are worth it. But like, not everything just works. Like, your friend got Cyberpunk running on it and played on it, sure. But like, there's definitely a lot more of like, oh, this thing that I wanted to do didn't just work out the box. I now need to figure out how to get that working, that you don't have on Windows. You still have that on Windows, on occasion, but you have it a lot more on Linux. And then, of course, you have plenty of things that just outright don't support Linux and you can't use on it anyway. Like, even Mac OS is more widely supported than Linux. What if I build? I'm kind of curious how this might look. Wine can run any .exe file, so I don't know what you mean by things you can't do it all on Linux. I guarantee you can probably get anything to run on Wine, but it's not just going to be out of the box like, oh, I can just use Wine to run this. There's going to be problems. There's always going to be problematic things. I guarantee you it's not just going to be as simple as, Wine will just do it. That's one of those things that people tell you and then you actually go to do it and it does not work at all in that way. But there's always going to be problems with using something like Wine, which is essentially an emulation software to emulate an OS to run. Like, at that point, you might as well just have Windows. If you have to use an emulation to run exe files to emulate Windows, you might as well just be using Windows. It's like you can use Wine on Mac as well, but it's like, why? Why would I? Once again, sometimes you need to look up specific dependencies, but at some point you won't need to. Or I could just not. I could just use Windows. I don't have to look up dependencies on Windows. Generally, everything downloads itself when I need it. If I download a game or a software on Windows that has like dependencies or certain things it needs to have to run, it'll just download them along with the thing. It'll usually be like, hey, Wine stands for Wine is not an emulator. Okay, but literally what else actually is it? And tell me that Wine has never had any issues with getting anything to run. Like, tell me it's a flawless system, it works exactly the same as running everything on Windows. Causes no problems, there's no issues with it, nothing. If you can guarantee me that, if you can guarantee me 100% that using Wine will have, at the bare minimum, the same amount of issues as Windows, no more issues than Windows would ever have running something, if you can guarantee me that, then cool. But I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a second. Are these, is that trim looking cool? I can't decide. I think it is. You once had Windows shit the bed so bad it fucked the way your GPU worked. Wine's small dependency tweaks are not the worst thing you had to deal with. But I guarantee that Windows can shit the bed, yes. So can Linux. You can absolutely have Linux brick systems. Linux isn't flawless. I'm convinced that the only people that actually say that Linux is better than Windows are just in too deep. You've just, like, you've put too much time into actually committing to getting Linux to work that you don't want to admit that it's not actually better. It's all sunken cost fallacy. It's like, no, it has to be better. It has to be better. I've put too much time in it for it to not be better. I don't know if I like what I've... I don't know if I like that or not. I don't know if that looks good. You didn't even know what wine was, so maybe you need to admit that you don't want to switch. I mean, I've used wine before. I've used it before. I've used it on my Steam Deck, I've used it on a Mac before. And you know what? It wasn't flawless. It didn't just make everything magically work. Because you're still functionally making something run on an operating system that it's not built on to run. The funny thing about this whole conversation is that at this conversation started because you said that you've just installed a system onto your computer that you need the internet to fix, and you don't have the internet to fix it. I don't have that problem with Windows.
I'm just building a house. I'm not involved in this.
Nothing is flawless. Why would you expect that out of Linux? I'm not expecting it to be flawless. But people act like it is. But also, the bare minimum is that I would expect it to be better if there's any reason for me to use it. Again, like, at the end of the day, I might not use it, and that's fine. I don't have to. But, like, the point is that it should be better, and people act like it's a lot better, but it doesn't seem to be. And like me pointing out that there are compatibility issues and issues with it, and you being like, just use wine, but then wine itself introduces other issues and it like problems. It's like needing a solution to something that's broken because you're not using it for the purpose it was meant for is the problem. That's my point. Like, I hope Linux gets better. I genuinely do, because eventually I would want to make that change when eventually Linux can get to a point where it is better than Windows. But people act like it's already at that point, and I 100% do not agree. I need to download a WinRAR equivalent, that's what I mean. That's not a Linux problem, it's a I don't have internet problem. Yeah, but Windows has that effectively built in. Like, I don't actually have WinRAR on my PC, I haven't needed it. Like, being able to access zipped files is pretty basic functionality for an operating system to have. Needing to download that functionality is maybe a problem with that operating system. Perhaps. You also have a decompression program. You just don't like the interface because of autism, not because it's not there on the OS. Okay, well, I'll give it that then. At least that is a function on the OS. Because that did seem like a pretty significant thing to not have available in an OS. But I will give you that if that is the case. Yeah, it is very dark. Let's also sleep. Where is my front door? Front door. I mean, don't get me wrong, not having internet causes issues for every operating system. That's not unique or anything. Like, you're always probably going to find something that it's like, I need something downloaded for whatever reason. Unless... I mean, that's just downloading programs, to be fair. You just always need internet to download programs. That's just how downloading programs works. But, yeah, I don't know. I'll be interested to see what progression Linux and stuff makes with the release of the what's it called? The Steam computer console type thing. Which again, it's basically a computer that runs on Steam OS, but it's also kind of a console. The Steam... Not Steam Deck. Oh god, what's it called? I can't remember. Because Steam has definitely progressed things a lot when it comes to compatibility with like games on Linux. Like a lot. And it's also definitely bringing it more to the mainstream, and also Steam's quite a big company. Steam Machine, is that what it's called? They're quite a big company as well, so they're going to have the budget behind them to put work into, you know, debugging and making the OS look nice and feel nice to use and everything, and get all of the, like, make it as low friction as possible. So it will be interesting to see what happens there, and also if they make it something you can just download onto a machine or not. The Gabe Cube. I actually kind of love that as a name. The worst thing about Linux is your friend who installed it and helps you with it uses Arch, and they are the worst at introducing people to Linux, and also are the loudest out of any Linux community. They're the people that they have, like, perfect, utmost control over every tiny, minute detail in how the operating system works, but also it took them 200,000 hours to get their operating system working at the point that they have. And if anybody else hasn't spent that time getting it working in that same way, then they're doing it wrong. They're not using Linux to its best. It's those kinds of people, right? The, like, if you're not using Linux in the way I use it, you're using Linux wrong kind of people. Because you do see a lot of those on Reddit. But those aren't the people that I really... Like, I tend to ignore those posts. When I'm looking for Linux information, those aren't the posts I read. Because that kind of goes for any hobby or any skill or anything. Like, anybody that's like, oh, if you don't do it the exact way I do it, you're wrong. Just, I don't know. I don't like those people. It's like painting. Warhammer painting. A lot of the amazing painters will just be like, here's how I do it. You can do it like this or not. Like, it's up to you. Here's how I do it. But then you have a lot of painters, especially like mid-range painters, who will be like, this is the technique you have to use, and if you don't use it in this exact way, you're painting your minis wrong and I hate you. And I'm like, bro, I don't want to paint all of my Space Marines as Ultramarines. I don't want to have an entire 1,000-unit army that's all just blue and gold. That sounds boring. My Marines, my armies don't have to be lore accurate, and I'm okay with that. I am. I promise. I'm okay with it. Please. Put the gun down. Leave my family alone. Arch Linux is hell, and they like to pretend that it's the right way. I also remember... Wasn't there a news article, George, you might remember this, and also Leo, you might remember this. Someone failed a uni degree, or like had massive issues with their uni degree because their uni software didn't support Ubuntu or something. There was a whole news article about it. I can't remember what it was years ago. But like, basically the laptop that their uni gave them had Linux on it. It had like Ubuntu on it, I think. I think Ubuntu's Linux, right? If Ubuntu isn't Linux, I look really dumb right now. And it just didn't work with like the uni software or something, and they just couldn't do any of their assignments. I can't remember. My armies don't have to be lore accurate, looks to my black, red, and silver towel. There are issues and hard things to navigate, but the learning curve is completely worth it. Because at some point the problems will just be a formality and you'll be free of Microsoft. So that's all worth it for me. Yeah. I mean, again, it's something I consider, and I'm still gonna create a virtual machine to run it at some point, to play around with it and do things with. But I don't know. I would like it to be able to replace Windows, but I just don't expect it to. Ubuntu is based on Debian. Is Debian a different operating system? God damn it, there's too many. I haven't even heard of Debian. Ubuntu, enterprise, open source, and Linux. Is Debian... Yes, it's Linux. Okay, right. Uni... I need to find the article now. Uni student, Ubuntu. Fails. Here it is, 2014. Ubuntu causes girl to drop out of college. Oh, she bought the computer. The college didn't give her the computer. She bought a computer with Ubuntu as the OS, and then couldn't do any of her college work and dropped out. And that somehow made news. But that was in 2014, and I am also very aware that the 2014 Linux landscape was a completely different story to what it is now. You hadn't heard of this? Damn. I just inhaled beer. We were in secondary school when that happened, when that news article broke. off topic, back to the game. I really don't know if I like what I'm doing with the slate here, with the black bricks. I don't know if... I think this looks really ugly. I don't think that looks good at all. I think I have made something that looks ugly as fuck. Right. I'm telling you as someone who replaced Windows by Linux, if you don't pick the Masochist OS, it won't take you more than a week to get your bearings. Because I use a lot of software that are considered unstable. I don't have any problems with DaVinci Resolve. Like, I've never had stability problems or crashing with it myself, but a lot of people say that they do, and a lot more people say that they do when running it on Linux. I wouldn't even bother trying to run Adobe, like Premiere and After Effects on Linux, because that shit is unstable on Windows. I have had problems with that shit on Windows, and it's definitely worse on Linux. Adobe software seems to be like low-key built to run on Mac more than Windows. But I just, like, I don't have the time to spend troubleshooting shit. When I end up having to troubleshoot shit already, and it takes me ages, I'm like, I could have been done with this project by now, but I had to spend half of my time troubleshooting. I don't want that. And I feel like I'm more likely to get that with Linux. You know? I already struggle with ADHD and having friction getting into, like, my hobbies and things. I don't want extra things adding more friction that make me procrastinate getting into my hobbies even more. Does that looks worse. That looks definitely worse, doesn't it? What I've just created there. I think that looks even worse. Why did I think that it... Leo... Is that stripe ugly? Where? There. I did have one there. I didn't like how it looked. I think what I've created is ugly. I think it looked better when it was just straight marble.
Oh, because it's angular.
Yeah. Welcome to voxel games. I can probably find a different way to add texture and detail than just a big black stripe. That was a good use of my time. But yeah, I think a virtual machine will be a good way to test it, because it's very low commitment. Like, I don't have to actually change any OS. I don't even have to try and get my PC to boot using like a boot drive or anything that's got Linux on it. I can just run it on a virtual machine. And then also the advantage of that is if I ever just feel like it, I could just run the virtual machine and just use Linux. But it'll be interesting to test. It'll be interesting to test as well, like using a virtual machine, downloading DaVinci onto it, and then seeing how well it runs, like trying to edit a full video on that instead of on Windows and seeing what happens. With the OS you're using, took you a day to get back to using your PC exactly how you did on Windows, and most of the things you had to readjust were just weird reflexes you still had from Windows. I felt like that using Mac as well, because I have a MacBook for like editing and stuff on the go. And it's been great for that, honestly. But yeah, Mac and Windows are very similar in really weird ways, but different in really weird ways. So your muscle memory can be a bit weird. One of the things I don't like about Mac is the command key. It just doesn't need to exist. They just replace... They still have control on all of their keyboards, but they just also have the command key where the Windows key would be. but instead of doing like a Windows key functionality, they use the command key instead of control in all their shortcuts for no reason other than to be different. I don't get it. I don't get that. Don't understand why they do that. Like not knowing where to look for stuff because I got too used to Windows categorizing things in odd ways. I will say Windows is getting worse with categorizing and burying settings. Like, settings that I have in my past found very important and needed to access regularly, they will, like, every couple years it will just get buried like one menu layer deeper. So you have to go in like 6 layers deep to get a setting that used to just be there. I don't understand why they're doing that. Like, I do 100% think that eventually Linux will replace Windows. 100%. With the direction that Windows has been going and continues to go, and the direction Linux has been going and continues to go, I think it will get there eventually for me. But I don't think it has the consistency, the right texture for me to get my teeth on just yet, other than just to play around with. Which is fine. Like I say, like a lot of Reddit subreddits around Linux do basically kind of just say exactly that. They're like, if you're fine with Windows as it is at the moment, there isn't really a huge reason to switch unless you have a very specific, significant problem with Windows that is like a big deal breaker, you know? Which a lot of people do. Like, I've been able to disable all of the AI shit that's built into Windows now. But, like, as soon as I'm not able to do that, that's probably going to be a significant catalyst for me to switch off of Windows. Like, 100%. You have too much power over the way your PC looks. Like, you know, the Windows icon to access the app menu and stuff, where you can change that on Linux, and it is now a menacing eye that looks directly at the person on my chat. You can do that on Windows as well. Not natively, obviously, but like I say, I've got Windhawk, which allows me to customize all of the stuff. Like, I've got the fonts in my Windows hotbar for like my dates and time. I've got how they display and the font that they display in and stuff customized, and Windows does weird things with having 2 different monitors that are 2 different resolutions, so I've got things that fix that. And I'm sure those kinds of things exist for Linux as well. I'm interested, actually, if you have 2 monitors and they are different resolutions, what is it like what is the functionality there like? Because Windows is weird in that rather than so my 2 monitors are basically exactly the same size, but one is 1440 and one is 4K. And Windows decides that the 4K screen, because it's got twice the amount of pixels, must be twice the size, when it's not. So I had to download a software called Little Big Mouse that allows me to effectively rescale the screen in the OS and have my mouse cross over exactly the points that I want and stuff. Which isn't a functionality built into Windows. It is something I have to download for. I'd be curious about what the functionality or what the tools available for something like that are on Linux. Yo, I love that game. Hell yeah. Little Big Mouse. It's a definitely different to Little Big Planet. They're not the same thing. I mean, they're not. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. They're literally not. You can adjust where they are positioned and ratios to sizes, and it's real fucking accurate. Okay, that's better. Because on Windows, you can adjust where they're positioned, and you can adjust the resolutions, but it doesn't let you resize them, which I think is stupid. Whereas downloading Little Big Mouse gives me that functionality. So Linux having better control over that is nice. That's a nice thing. Because as it stands, Little Big Mouse doesn't It doesn't work in that it actually changes how the screen size is in the OS. It basically just changes how mouses interact with the edge of my screen. So like right now, having a game open that's full screen, little big mouse auto disables, because if my mouse were to cross the border, it could cause my game to wig out. So not having that would be nice. I feel like I'll have to do a live stream where I download like Pop! OS onto a like a virtual machine, and I just live stream like first interaction with Pop! OS and setting it up and everything, and you can laugh at me getting everything wrong. Your main screen is twice the size of the other one. You didn't even have to tweak anything because it recognized the sizes almost perfectly. That's nice. A Little Big Mouse does that. It recognized what the screens were and what their specifications were. I did tweak it a little bit because I didn't think it was perfect, but it's good. It brings up a little ruler. You get a ruler on both of your screens so you can line them up and get them all sized properly and like line up the numbers so that the mouse crosses over at the right point. It's a good software. It would just be nice if Windows had that functionality built in. But yeah, I don't know. I will jump ship from Windows eventually, I imagine. Like I say, the AI shit that they're trying to shoehorn into everything, that's going to be a pretty big motivator for me to leave. As soon as that's not something I can get rid of. Currently, there are fixes for it. But given how every large company wants to pack AI into everything and make it so that it's not something you can disable, I don't see Windows being any different there. Even fucking Apple building ChatGPT into the OS and like making Siri use ChatGPT and stuff is just weird. It can be useful, but also, I don't know. Until AI is less horrifically, like, sketch. I had an entire job interview where I had to have a fucking half-hour conversation over text with an AI. Like, that's so dystopian. People are having video call interviews for jobs with AI. This shit's so dystopian. This is we're living in a Black Mirror episode. Like, it's fucked up, I hate it. Manjaro is what I use, so I don't really know about other Linux OS except mine, except Mint, but it's on my shitty old laptop, so it barely runs, but so did Windows 7. Pop! OS is the one that I've seen recommended a lot for gaming and, like, being the closest to Windows in terms of, like, replacing Windows, but also being very compatible and making gaming easy. I've seen Pop! OS recommended a lot. Not having to constantly debloat my PC and being worried about how it fucks shit up feels really good. I've not really had to debloat my PC. Like, since setting it up and having to remove all of the, like, AMD auto-install, like, and, you know, all of your RGB auto-installed controlled stuff and replace it with the stuff that actually works. I haven't had to debloat my PC. I hate that fucking, like, Norton is still a thing, like Norton antivirus, and how half the things you buy or download are like, we come with a free trial of Norton antivirus, want to use it? And I'm like, no! Norton and McAfee, both of them, can actually just fuck off. I don't want to use either of those things. Didn't McAfee turn out to be a horrible person? Didn't he, like, go to jail and die? Or am I thinking of something completely different? Chickens. The interface is a different thing from the OS, though. Like, you can have Manjaro and use the KDE interface, which is basically a Windows copycat in terms of looks and feels. Yeah, I don't know a huge amount about the difference between the OSs and interfaces. I don't know what, because Pop OS is an OS, but also it's its own interface as well. Like, it's a whole thing. Like, GNOME is a more Mac OS thing. I don't know how to describe what I'm trying to say. But Pop OS is advertised as being very good for gamers, but also all of the screenshots of Pop OS on their website all look very Windowsy, if that makes sense. You know something I found really useful with my Steam Deck when trying to get stuff working on my Steam Deck? Trying to do literally anything, because obviously with Linux, getting dependencies and stuff all installed, just doing stuff, downloading stuff that you need for Linux requires a decent amount starting out. On the Steam Deck, you have to use a touchscreen keyboard, but also, like, you're using a touchscreen to control, like, essentially a PC display, and it was a nightmare. I downloaded AnyDesk so that I could control my Steam Deck from my PC, and it was a genuine lifesaver. It made things so much easier. When you go for downloading Manjaro, you get the option to get a preview of different options for the interface. Some are very much their own things, but others can feel very similar. That's interesting. I don't know what to do with my tower. I don't know how... When it comes to like building projects in Minecraft and stuff, I feel like I'm good at starting projects and I'm good at like little detail things, but then I really lose what I need, where I progress it, where I take it really fast. One thing I'll give Linux credit for that it is a lot better at than like any other operating system is like servers and that kind of thing. It's just a lot better, just in kind of every way. I cannot imagine anybody trying to build a large functioning server on Windows. I think that would be hell. Does that look good? I don't know. Does that look like now it just looks like a church. I've put a big cross on it. How do I make this look less church? That's an arrow. That's a bit less like a cross. Okay, I don't hate that. I don't hate that. That's something. That's something. Is that one too high? Yes. Did I do that? And then 2 dots up there. Leo would just be eating ice cream. How's the house coming along? Good. I feel like the gaming Linux OS will kind of lose in versatility, which is crucial for making things run, especially a large variety of games. Like, by trying to make games work, they get short-sighted and lose in versatility that makes other non-gaming focused OS make shit work after a few tweaks. That's fair. I haven't looked into gaming Linux OS in a good while now, so maybe the one you want to try doesn't have that. Yeah, I don't know. As someone who clearly knows more about Linux than me, have a look at Pop! OS at some point and get back to me and be like, actually, this is dog shit, or actually, this could be good. Sleep. Something I like about Hytale. I gotta give Hytale a bit of praise real quick. Big doors. These doors that you get on like temples and stuff. I really like them. Not only because they're quite large and they look cool, but because they are 3 wide. You can have a 1 block wide door, like in normal. You can put 2 doors together to make a 2 block door, like normal. Or you can make these big doors which are 3 wide, so you can have... My planning, which is I accidentally do this every time I make a circular tower, is I make it an odd number, so it's always got a central block, and then I'm like, oh god, how do I make cool doors with this? The answer is 3 block wide doors. Take that, Minecraft, you could never. Minecraft would never give you 3 block doors. Minecraft would never do that. Hytale, on the other hand, loves you. And also isn't owned by Microsoft. So there's that. Hytale isn't owned by Microsoft and wasn't made by a racist. Take that, Minecraft. Kinda looks like an arrow again, but I don't hate it. I can make some old-ass ye olde 2002 games, as well as recent games, and that low-key was harder on Windows. Like, why did Windows get a stroke every 2 launches on... Windows is weird with old games. I will absolutely give you that. If Linux is better than that, that's pretty good. Because, yeah, like... Unless you get them from, like, good old games or something, where they tend to run a bit better. If you buy, like, a really old game on Steam... half the time you have to jump through hoops to get that shit to run. Compatibility mode sometimes works. You go on the exe for it, and you change it to like compatibility mode for like X version of Windows. Sometimes it works. Not always. Quite often, you get modders that are like, yeah, we just fixed it. Which is like... Sometimes you gotta wonder, if a modder was able to just fix something, why did it need fixing? And I hate that that's such a common thing in modern gaming, where you have to, like, a game launches in a broken state and modders fix it day one, and it's like, well, how in the fuck was this even something it released with? I remember, back in the day, not that it is much better, but it did get better, GTA 5 loading times, especially on GTA Online, atrocious, horrific, no matter what machine you had. Turns out, this is because they were using 1 core to load things of your CPU. They did not use multi-core processing at all to load things. A modder found this out and modded it in and fixed it. And then eventually Rockstar were like, oh, I see, and fixed it. But that's just... That's just crazy for a AAA game. Another one is Monster Hunter games, infamously, just always run terrible on PC. They're always badly optimized for PC. But Monster Hunter Wild has my favorite case of this because it's so unintentionally malicious. Because you have DLC for Monster Hunter Wilds, and the game checks if you've got DLC constantly, over and over and over again. And it uses a lot of processing power to make the check. And basically, the more of the DLC you own, the less processing power it uses, and the better the game runs on PC. Now, I have it on PS5, so it was never a problem for me. But they legitimately, unintentionally, made the game run worse if you've spent less money on it. I think that is genuinely kind of hilarious. Like, how did that ever make it into launch? Like, oh my god. What if I added more windows? Maybe windows would fix things. Not that kind of windows. Not after the conversation we've just had. The windows fix that. Does that window look good? I kinda like it. It doesn't look good, but I kinda like it anyway. Just wondering if it'll add a little bit of a like natural light in here. Where actually is that window? Is it right? Tell me it's not. Okay, it's not right in the floor. I don't hate that window being there. I don't like the shape of these windows. I think these windows need solving somehow. Don't know how. Proton is so good at making games run. Like, the biggest problem you can have is not picking the right one between 32-bit and 64-bit when running a game. Like, if you're worried about people glazing wine, which to be fair does happen, Proton legit deserves the hype. Proton, my experience with using the Steam Deck, Proton has been a lifesaver for a lot of things. One thing I did struggle with, but I don't think it was necessarily a Linux problem so much as an emulator problem, was I like emulating. And the Steam Deck is so good. It's an amazing machine for emulating. It's literally got a software called EmuDeck you can download, which is designed for emulating stuff on the Steam Deck. But certain programs can get a little bit wiggy. Like Xbox 360 games. Getting a base Xbox 360 game that you would get on a disc to run, and getting an Xbox Live Xbox 360 game that you would buy in the store for store points and get to work, they took completely different things to get working. And it was definitely harder to get working on my Steam Deck than it is to get working on my PC. The only problems I've had came from me being stupid and guessing stuff that I should have just checked before trying to wing it. I think that will be my downfall, because I don't check things until I've gotten way too deep in. I'll spend like an hour trying to figure it out, and then when I don't, I'll finally check, and I'll be like, I should have just done this from the start. What's the problem that I'm having now? Why don't I like this? Maybe stairs will fix this. Maybe it's stairs that are the problem. Like, bam. Ooh, and they've got like the texture on them there. Is that... Ooh, maybe. That tiny bit extra texture there. Maybe that's what I needed. And the stairs actually work like exactly like they do in Minecraft, which is nice. Functionality improvement over Minecraft, actually, in saying that. If I press R, I can rotate these motherfuckers. Can't do that in Minecraft. Take that, Jeb. Isn't that? I think I saw something about creative builder tools. No, it's in general. No. Block placement preview. Oh, I see. Never mind. That doesn't change how the rotating works. That's just if a block is bigger than one, it will show you how it's placing, which I also like.
Oh.
Oh, did you go through the teleporter?
Yeah.
I like the teleporters. They're fun. I like a lot of things in this game. The magic system needs more fleshing out, in that you make a couple staffs and they use essence to fire spells and that's kind of it. But like, again, I'm sure that stuff's coming. Do I like that? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I like that or if I really hate that. Do I have half slabs? I do. Can I make these flat against the wall like that? Yes, I can. But you're going to annoy me, aren't you? Can you build stairs sideways? That would solve this. It would appear not. Damn. Okay. I need like a half slab corner piece. What can you do with posts? Can you build posts in the corner? No, you can only build them like that. Okay, right. Half slabs aren't the solution then, because that would actually look good if it wasn't just for the fact that that's just gonna step in weird here. I mean, I'll try it and see how it looks. One of the bad reflexes on Linux is not using the community online to get opinions on things like Windows. Kind of gets you used to looking at the top results and what websites say, but on Linux you actually need to know what's going on a bit. Like looking for alternatives or what people say works online before using Wine will save you a lot of time, because a lot of people came before you and have been dumbasses before you. Yeah, getting stuff to work on the Steam Deck, again, definitely like that as well. There's a lot of good forums online for getting stuff to work on the Steam Deck and getting that running, because I just dove headfirst into like EmuDeck without looking any tutorials up online and naturally struggled as a result, which is just entirely down to my own hubris. Does that look good? Or does that look shit? I think the half slabs made that look worse. I don't know if I like the stairs though. I broke the wrong block there. Why is creativity so hard? Why is original thought so difficult? Troubleshooting is not needed when you have a solid community that know what works and what helps. I mean, You always need a little bit of troubleshooting. Everything needs a little troubleshooting. Maybe more stairs are the solution here. Can I make smooth stairs instead of brick stairs? Maybe that's also one of the things throwing me off here. No, I can only make brick stairs. Poopy poopy. Because I don't like that the stairs are a slightly different texture. Unless I can lean into that somehow. Maybe marble brick decorative, perhaps. It's not quite right. It's not quite what I want. It's not quite what I'm after. Can't rotate these blocks either, which is a shame. They always have to look like that. Whereas, actually, there's a different type of decorative block. These ones, ornate. Would that look better? Would that look a little bit worse? Didn't mean to break that one. Yeah, okay, if I lead into the stairs a bit, the texture change isn't as big. That. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. I don't hate that. I don't hate that. Fun fact, these blocks that I'm building with right now entirely dictated the direction that this tower was built, like the entrance. Because from above, they have this little tree symbol that's like on it there. But no matter what direction you build this block from, it always faces that direction. So I was like, well, guess that's the side the door's gonna be at. Because it bothered me that I couldn't rotate it. Probably more than it should have. Okay. I don't hate that. Right, I think those ones could do with a bit more. They could do with a little bit more zhuzhin. Zhuzhin up. Maybe like you. Maybe all of these top ones should be. Is that too busy? No, I don't think so. You know what this game needs? It needs like colored spotlights that I can light this building up with. Like those blue braziers, but like a spotlight that I can just shine at the building. I wonder what Linux is like for developing games as well, because that's something I've been looking into a bit recently. I've been learning a little bit of Game Maker and a little bit of GML. I wonder if Linux makes that more or less complicated. Like in terms of the games actually running, it shouldn't, because you can literally just make the games run in like phone you can make them run in like iOS and Android. I wonder if it complicates the actual development side. Anyway, I'll leave you alone with the links, but if you're curious about fun things you can do on it, r/Unix porn is real fun to look at and is a really good way to see just how varied Linux can be without having to deal with the annoying people of Reddit. I will have to give that a look. Right, let's build this next layer up some. What other brick types do we have? So we've got that one. The shale decorative block. Do I actually have? Yeah, that one, the ornate one. There's also another half and half block, which are good until you want to like stack them on top of each other, and then it becomes a bit busy. Like, you wouldn't want that as a wall, I don't think. I think that's a bit... It's good horizontal, but not vertical. Generally has good dev support on account of being a very malleable type of OS. That's interesting. I wonder what creative tools, builder tools do we have? Air placement, that's fun. Brush. You can use a building brush, because this kind of has it's low-key kind of got a couple different, like, what do you call it? What's the build mod from Minecraft called? That has like build brushes and stuff. I can't remember what it's called. World Edit? Maybe? I can't remember. This kind of has some of that built in as functionality for creative, which is quite nice. Oh, you can turn no clip on for the flying. Flight mode hover versus directional flight inertia. Move speed, you can ramp up your fly speed. Anyway, I was hoping it might have like the build wand, like layer building kind of thing, but it might do. I just don't know how to turn it on. And I can't be bothered to try. What weird optimization bugs have there been in games like the Monster Hunter Wilds one, where they like just random things make them run worse or better? I'm sure there have been others that it's just like, wow, why does that change things? Why does that have an effect? Damn, a lot of bots chat on my stream. Do they? I haven't seen any bots chatting on my stream today. I do actually tend to get a few bots every couple, like every stream I get one or two, but we haven't actually had any today. The amount of time you've looked into your settings and went, hold on, you're legit letting me touch that? Like, I have so much control, it's scary. What do you mean I type my password and I can start fingering the inner workings of my PC? You didn't have to describe it like that. Those were not words that you needed to say. You thought Bashimi is a bot? No, if Bashimi was a bot, I would have probably banned them by now. We've been having a whole ass conversation. No, I ban bots when they appear on my streams. I'm not that... I don't just let them roam. You're a very pro Linux bot. It's a really weird bot to have, actually, wouldn't it? If just a bot that just starts coming into streams and going, so, have you heard about Linux and the way that Linux works? Just Cheyenne, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. That would be a very funny bot. Needs to be a little bit longer. Words I hear all the time. Like Jehovah's Witnesses, but for Linux. Honestly, I think those exist. You go on Reddit on a completely different related subject, and you just get a comment on there that's like, yeah, but have you heard of Linux? It's like way better than it used to be. You should definitely try it. You're on a a Reddit thread about like the best way to make pancakes, and someone's like, yeah, that's cool and all, but like, have you tried Linux? Tickle My Balls OS just got a new update this month, and it's like the best thing ever. It really tickles your balls. But Windows doesn't tickle your balls for you, does it? No. God knows I don't have a girlfriend to do it for me. Every Linux user. That needs to be longer still. And chat is this small. I think it's about average. I don't know what's worse though. The people, the specific kind of Linux users, like the arch Linux users that shoehorn a conversation about Linux into like every conversation, or the Android users that shoehorn conversations about Android into everything. Funny thing is that if you say you use Linux on any computer subreddit, there's a strong chance you'll get the internet version of Stoned to Death. Yeah, I don't know what's worse, because you get those people that are like, oh, Linux is better than Windows, use Linux. And you also get the, like, if someone even hints at the fact that they might have an iPhone, you get that one person that's like, Android is better than iPhone, actually. Can iPhone do this? My Android can do this. I feel like Android used to be like the Linux of phones. However, given that it's, it's Google at this point, like, It lost that, but people still treat it like it is, you know? You actually have to hide that info. Some subreddits just get banned if they mention that. That's actually kind of insane. You just get auto banned if you mention you have Linux in subreddits. That is kind of insane. Yeah. I got auto banned from a subreddit once and had to contact the mods about it and be like, hey, that's not unban me please, because back in the COVID lockdown days there was a subreddit called No New Normal that I covered that were all anti-vax and like anti-COVID and COVID conspiracies and everything. So I covered the subreddit and they posted my video in the subreddit, and I think I commented on the post in their subreddit, and then I got banned from another subreddit that I used for being active in No New Normal. And I was like, I'm not active in No New Normal, because it was such a toxic subreddit that they would like brigade other subreddits and harass other subreddits. So a lot of subreddits were just outright banning like anyone that has on their Reddit account got like a visible history of using it. I'm gonna head to bed. Now I'm gonna have to start filling time by talking without having someone to talk to again.
Talking without me being involved for like the last...
I know. Last stream when you went to bed and I had an hour left of the stream, I just suddenly was like, what do I talk about now?
Linux,
but the Linux, we're kind of done with the Linux conversation now. Everybody say goodnight, Leo. Leo's headphones be falling apart. I bought Leo new headphones and he has new headphones and he doesn't use them.
I do. I use them
everywhere apart from your computer.
Yeah.
Silly. They're the same headphones, pretty much. Bashimi says goodnight. Yeah, he's on Snorlax. Oh, my mouse just wigged out. That was weird. Might have a hair in it. Oh no, there's a hair on my desk. Okay. People hate on Linux like it's their job. People hate on a lot of things like it's their job. People like hating on Apple as well, like it's their job. And like iOS and stuff. The fuck was that noise? Oh, it might have been Leo brushing his microphone. I thought it was in game. I'm one of the few people that at one point actually owned a Windows phone. They weren't good. They were not good phones. But when people argue about like, use iOS, use Android, those arguments, I'm like, use a Windows phone. You thought people were mean to potato PC users, but it's nothing compared to the hate Linux gets outside of the community created spaces. I don't get hating people for having like not high spec PCs. Like, oh, how dare you not have the money to spend on an expensive PC? How dare you? Like, okay. Sure. I'm of the humble opinion, despite having a somewhat high-end PC, I am of the humble opinion that AAA games should largely be made to run on the majority of hardware, not just the highest-end hardware. Like, I don't really understand this is because this isn't new. This isn't a new thing. This has been going on for a while, but I feel like for the last 10 years, every new game that comes out releases in a state where it like doesn't quite run yet, but in a couple years the new hardware that comes out will run the game. Like, or you could make the games to run on existing hardware that most people have. Maybe. Looking at you, Borderlands, the newest Borderlands game. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Especially when they'll make the same game run on like current hardware games consoles. But like, if you use a PC and you don't have the newest graphics card, go die. And I'm just like, please. People will shit on your old graphics card, like, fuck off, that's my baby girl, she's nearly 10 years old, but can still run Red Dead Redemption 2. No, don't ask why I stopped using the heating in my room. But like, some old cards are still rocking out. You can still play a lot of games on like the 10 series card, like a 1070, 1080. You can still run a decent amount of games on those. You can still run a lot of new games on them if you turn like the resolution and shit down. Like, you might not get to run the game at 1080p, but you can still run the game, you know? Not all new games, like I say. A lot of games are really poorly optimized until, you know, the game's like 5 years old and hardware's moved on, and then finally you can play it. That's what I was like with Cyberpunk. I was like, when Cyberpunk came out, despite all of the bugs and everything, I was like, I feel like I need to just wait until hardware is better before I play Cyberpunk, purely so that I can run it in like a more stable condition. Just so that I have those consistent frame rate, like, I don't know. And then I played the shit out of Cyberpunk when I got a new PC, because that game's good. I'm really tired. I woke up early for me today. I managed to force myself up, which is rare. It's a rare occurrence for me. I'm losing my mind. There's a cave under my tower that I did not know was here. We go cave diving. Let's do a little bit of spelunking. We'll be spelunking. Sounds really bad when I say it like that. sounds pretty bad. Bit of spelunky. Oh, it's a spider cave with a goblin in it. I used to have a similar though. Back when I lived with my parents, my room was like the loft, and the insulation wasn't great. So and also there wasn't like a built-in plums radiator, so I had to have one of those like electric oil radiators. And when I would play games, it would be freezing, but I knew that my PC would warm up the room, so I would hold off turning the radiator on because I knew it would improve. Silk lava. You just drop regular ass wild meat. Interesting. You're officially not using a potato OC anymore, by the way. You finally got some RAM not long ago, and now your PC doesn't want to die whenever you have two Windows running. Hell yeah. Oh, you chose the worst time to buy RAM, though. RAM is so goddamn expensive at the moment. Fucking AI has cranked the RAM prices up insane amounts. Just adding to the list of shit that AI has ruined, now it's RAM. There's always something going on that like spikes the price of at least one computer component. At the moment, it's fucking RAM. So thanks, AI. Really needed that. Why can I not walk through here? Hello? That's weird. There's something blocking this block. Is it you? Is there an invisible stalactite? There might be an invisible stalactite there. 1333 hertz RAM, so it's not affected by the price rising, thank God. That is good. I built my PC before the spikes, which is good. So I've got like DDR5 RAM, which now would cost me my mortgage, you know? Is that a spike? Is this a spike? Ow, it is. That hurts. Ow. Is this like a goblin camp? I think I found a goblin camp. Goblins. Ow. He's yeeting bombs at me. He's out here throwing bombs. I don't really know why the silk lava are a thing, because the last time I checked, spiders don't have lava. What the fuck, a mole rat? I've not seen one of those before. That's new. I don't think I got a memory for it though, because I think my memories are bugged. Cannot see shit. I don't know what's in the cave. Ah! Oh, and it's the lava biome. You do not have to go very deep to get to the lava biome. You don't have to go deep at all. Well, quickest way for me out of here is just going to be to die. That's a necromancer. Actually, being here is good. These guys drop fire essence, so I can... If I collect a load of it, I can start using the flame staff, because it burns through fire essence like a motherfucker. And he did. Anything down here? The caves are a little bit empty. I wish that you could get better loot. I know I'm in the starting area, but the lava caves don't really change in difficulty regardless of the area you're in. So I wish that the loot was a bit more varied. Like, I wish you could go deeper and get even more fun, funky loot than just being like, you're in the starting area, so you get iron ore and copper gear and chests, and that's kind of it. Goblin. Die, bish. And we'll kill the snail. Doesn't fight back, I just want the essence. Your thumb keeps slipping. Why is your screen so greasy? Are you greasing up your screen, homie? There's one of those little orange lava bugs, I think, but I can't see it. I don't know why I decided to go cave diving. I was just like, spelunking, let's go. And here we are. What kind of bricks are those? Ooh! Sandstone. A chest. Hey look, it's copper gear. Take the linen scraps. One of your cats is old and doesn't clean herself well, so she's a bit greasy. My cats are not very old and they don't clean themselves very well, especially Artemis. She doesn't clean herself very well. Her fur's too long. She gets it stuck in her mouth. Bro. Whoa, that could have gone badly. These dudes have so much health. I've got the highest tier gear you can currently get without cheating in the game. And these guys still have so much health. There's actually thorium in here, which is interesting. Like, that is high tier. That's like 1 tier below what I'm currently using. What biome am I in? Oh yeah, I've got better maps. Oh, I'm in the desert. It makes sense that I'm getting thorium now. We traveled far enough in the caves that I am in fact in the desert. So that checks out. Actually, thorium isn't. Thorium's 2 below the one I'm currently using. I forgot about cobalt. Got cobalt in between there. Oof. There's a spellcaster over here as well. Fuck off, mate. Did that skull kill itself on, I guess maybe the fire? Yeah, there's thorium ore just about now. The one you're talking about here probably has some form of dwarfism because she's got weird proportions that makes it hard for her to clean and scratch herself well. We had a vet visit where the vet was like, have you had her genetically tested? Does she have dwarfism? We're like, she shouldn't. Like, she's quite, like, she has been genetically tested for a lot of things by the breeder. But her head is a bit small. And proportionally, she's small, and she's quite small for a ragdoll, so we don't know. I should eat. Oh, everyone, this is my last apple pie. Let's throw down the healing totem as well. While we're here. Am I going anywhere with any kind of goal? Not really. Logs are they? Beach. Beach. I don't think this lava has spawned quite properly. Oh, he's up there. I was like, I heard a skeleton, but I don't know where. Oh, that guy is down there just dying. I guess he can burn in lava. Ooh, there's a graphical glitch going on there. Is the stream picking that up? It is. The embers are... It's not picking it up every time, because I think it's like 1 frame. And my frame rate's a bit higher than is being recorded. But every now and then, the embers are doing something strange and the stream does pick it up. Oh, has it stopped? I think it stopped. Oh, if I go back here, it starts doing it again. That's strange. The lava doesn't kill you very fast in this game, which is interesting. But I guess it's a good thing because of these guys that literally... They do that. They pull you. Do you burn? I don't know if they do burn or not. He doesn't appear to be. What the? Oh god. That scared the shit out of me. Where did you come from, sir? Can't just do that. Oh god, there's a necromancer here as well. Or whatever they're called. Not necromancer, but like... incandescent mage or something. Incandescent skeleton mage. And there's a bomb eater. He's here as well. And another one. My armor looking at. My armor's already nearly at half durability. Getting beat up. I don't want to be in the cave anymore. I want to go home. I'm really tired. How much longer? We've got half an hour left. Wow. No, I'm not in creative anymore. Go back to creative. Let's go back to building. I should probably put some stuff home first. Where's the scrapper? There it is. Foinus. The foinus has no wood in it. Where's the wood kept? Oh God, I don't know how any of these chests are organised. There's wood. I'll use the zeologs. I've got a bajillion of those. Didn't get any other fuel, did I? I mean... Oh, that mace dropped a pile of books. Interesting. Not what I expected. Essence. Put things in the things. Put more things in the things. Where does the boom powder go? Too many chests. Boom powder and you. There we go. Venom sacks. In there. Cool. Right, back to building. Do I open that up more? Or do I make that a trapdoor? Could make that a trapdoor. Maybe that would be cool. And then make it bigger. Make it multiple trapdoors. Marble. Light temple trapdoor. Craft a few of those. Now, do I have to break the ladder? Is it like Minecraft? Or can I put a trapdoor and a ladder on the same block? I say no. That's kind of cute. They don't open together. It's not like doors. In this, double doors open together. The trapdoors do not. You still can't see the stream, by the way. Can I describe what I'm trying to build? You got no idea what I'm trying to do. I'm building a tower. Building a tower, mainly. It's mainly what's going on. I don't know if all those trapdoors together looks shit. I think it might. I think just one. Just one trapdoor. No, jumped off the ladder. You sprint up ladders, you can. Right, so can I climb all the way up? Ah, yes, you can. Good. And then close it. Very nice. Those look a bit weird from the inside. Oh, I have fucking leather and meat on me that I missed. I didn't put away. God damn it. Was it that one? There. Oh. Back we go. I love how uncomfortable the dark temple bed looks. It looks so uncomfy. Doesn't look comfy even remotely. But there isn't a light temple bed, at least that I've seen. Maybe I need the bricks to make it? No. Yeah, I can't see a light temple bed. So that's the one I get. Oh, it could be in this one actually. It'll probably be in beds. No, there isn't a light temple bed still. There's only the dark one. Dark temple bed. It'd be cool if you could make double beds in this. Like if you put two beds together, it would make a double bed. That would be cool. But it's not so. I mean, this is already too wide. The too wide bed, so. Ooh, mega yawn. I'm gonna wake myself up somehow. I'm slouching now. It's gotten to that time of the stream. Some of the frost furniture looks quite cool. I quite like some of the frost furniture, but it's not the vibe I'm going for. Originally I was going to make an ice tower, but I changed my mind. I don't like these windows. I don't know what it is about these windows I don't like. Maybe it's the taper. Maybe they need to just be like that. Does that look better? I think that looks better, yeah. That's better. Yeah. Yeah. The outside world. Ah. Boo, 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 boo. Beep, 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 beep. I don't know what biomes I've shown off on stream and what ones I haven't. If I've shown off like the desert one or the lava one. There's a lava one on land. I'm trying to remember what biome. So we've got the forest one you start in. That gets you copper and iron. You've got the desert, which gets you thorium, which is the green one. You've got the frost, which gets you cobalt, which is the blue one, and then you've got the lava biomes, which are... they give you adamantite, which is the red one, the final one that you can currently get. I don't think there's any other biomes. I'm sure they're going to add more, but right now, like, other than building, I have kind of found myself, like, I've kind of progressed as far as I can progress. There's nothing I can really do besides downloading mods to like progress further in terms of what the game actually offers. But then, you know, you could say the same thing about Minecraft, especially early on. Like before they added the end, you get diamond gear and then it's like, well, I'm done now. That's game finished. Other than the building, which is a pretty big part of these kinds of games, so that's why I wanted to build a tower. I never had the patience to build in Minecraft. I would start projects and then never finish them, which I guarantee is probably what's going to happen with this tower. because I just don't have the patience. But I'm liking it so far. I wonder if maybe lighting. Maybe if we put these on the tower, that could look cool. Like, does lighting up the tower like that look cool, or does it look stupid? I'll put them down where the stairs are. Does that look cool? Does that look stupid? I think it looks stupid. I don't think that looks good at all. Oh, lesson learned. Minecraft made me anxious. Like, I didn't like survival, and creative felt too empty. That's why I like the mods. I like the mod packs. Like, you know, all the stuff that you set up automation, and you have your machines that turn your ores into dust that turn them into more ores and all of that kind of thing. Like, and also a lot of the mods had magic systems in, which I always enjoyed, and I was always a fan of the big factory mods where you could build a big factory. Which I get, you know, you've got other games that can do that, like Factorio, or not Infinifactory, Satisfactory, which I haven't played, and I probably should, because I'd probably enjoy them. But also, I worry about how much time I would sink into them and lose all of my life playing. Yeah, there's already a shit ton of mods for this, so I'm sure it won't be long till there are like pretty big mod packs with like progression set up that you can play, which I'm looking forward to. Blue yearns for tycoon games. Don't. I used to play the shit out of Roblox tycoon games when I was a kid. I think that's what fueled my addiction for clicker games. I sink too much time into clicker games. I think it all started with Roblox. Should we get the ice logs and see if there's any cool ice furniture and stuff that might look good here? Or if none of it's the vibe. Wood chest. Which one was the wood chest? This one. Ice log. Ooh, that didn't load in properly for a second there. First of all, ice log, because there is some cool stuff, like the chair, the frozen chair, and the trapdoors. They're all pretty cool. The ladders, the windows. I just don't think it's the vibe. They look a bit too, like, decrepit, I think is the term. I think that's the best way of describing it. Like, they've got a really cool vibe, but I don't think it's the vibe I'm after. And I don't think there's any ice furniture in this one, in the furniture workbench to build. There's no ice lights. No ice chests or beds. No, I don't think so. Misk, no ice misk. Large cauldron. Feedback plushie. Goblin throne. Are tycoon games your second goblin mask, or are MMORPGs the second demon haunting your gaming experience? Kind of both. I still play clickers occasionally. But I do occasionally see an MMO where I'm like, but what if? but what if? The current one is my brain is gone. Fuck. What's it called? Base game. You explore planets and you have ships. It didn't start off as an MMO. It didn't even launch with multiplayer. No Man's Sky. That's got a lot of MMO aspects in it. Like, there's a whole market for selling stuff, and there's supply and demand and stuff. The prices for selling stuff goes up and down. And I saw that in a video and was like, do I build a ship? Do I get No Man's Sky, build a ship, and start up my MMO or Empire again? No, I do not. Absolutely, under no circumstances do I do that. But I also don't have any friends that play MMOs anymore, so I used to have friends I'd play them with. I'd sink a lot of time into it solo, but my excuse would be that I also would play it with friends. I don't have that excuse anymore. So, you know. I really like how the azure trees look. They're really cool. I wish that you could make anything out of the wood. You literally can't make anything out of their wood. There's no furniture or doors or anything for it yet. You can't even put it in the bench. It's currently basically just fuel, and that's it. Which is a shame. Like, give me my blue wood. Give me my blue wood. Oh, that's the portal. You can see the portal through there. I can't stop yawning. Got 10 minutes left of the stream. This last half an hour I didn't really get anything done. It kind of just devolved into nothing. No Man's Sky, also known as the phoenix of the game industry. Every AAA company thinks they can be them. They're wrong, but you know it's AAA companies, so they don't learn shit from anything. Yeah. Yeah. No Man's Sky was very unique in that they broke a lot of promises, but then absolutely dedicated so long to fixing them. But they've just added in the latest update, they've added like massive, like customizable ships that you build, that you physically build. Like, it's got a ship builder that build like massive, like multiple person crew ships, and it just looks really cool. It looks really cool. I kind of want to play it, but also I don't have anyone to play it with, so oh well. Because it's like, it's become very much similar to Elite Dangerous and those kinds of games. I can't remember the names of any of the other ones, but those ship flying economy games, except it's more arcadey. You don't have to like actually learn how to fly a spaceship just to play the game like you do with Elite Dangerous. You don't have to have a degree in spaceship flying. And I wanted to get into Elite Dangerous. I thought it would be really my thing, but the learning curve to get into it just made it so hard that I just never did. And I feel like No Man's Sky could potentially fill that gap for me, but I don't know if I trust myself. You know? I don't know if it's a good idea for me to do that. I kind of want to put platforms under these windows with lights on them. I'm going to. Before I end the stream. Actually, that wouldn't even be the end of the stream. That is just directly in front of the window. That kind of defeats the point of having a window. That's the wrong spot. Perhaps under it? Like that? Does that look good? Sure. Get a bit more light in here, because the ceiling's a little bit dark. I could just hang these off the ceiling, but that looks shit. So Sky is your second goblin mask, whispering in your ear along the Skyrim. Like, I know it sucks now and it's only getting worse, but it was so fun before. Surely I can get sort of high even now, says the stupid person being stupid. I also played Sky. Not as much as my younger sibling. My younger sibling sunk so much time into Sky, but I played Sky for a bit. What update was I playing Sky during? Possibly the Little Prince update? I think during the Little Prince update was when I played it. Or thereabouts. And yeah, it was a fairly fun game. I actually quite enjoyed it. But it got a bit repetitive for me. It was a bit repetitive and a bit grindy. You had to really grind to get the gear unless you pay money. And that was always the thing. It was one of those games that every time you do something, every time you get a little bit closer to getting a piece of gear, it's like, yeah, but I could spend money and I'd get that gear and more. I could always spend a bit more money. There's always... That's the problem with free games for me, especially free mobile games, is that there's always that little thing in the back of your head that's like, hey, you're enjoying this game. If you spent money, you might enjoy it a bit more. You can spend a bit of money. And then you spend a bit of money. It's like, you could spend a little bit more. Like, you've started it now. You clearly enjoy the game. You're investing in it. You can spend a little bit more. And it keeps on creeping up until it gets to a point where it's like, well, I might as well have bought a AAA title. You know, I might as well have spent my money on a full game and bought a full game instead of spending the equivalent of a full game's worth of money on a free game. I don't think I've ever spent that much money on a free game, to be fair. I usually have... When I play free games, I have a principle that I'm like, I cannot spend more than a certain amount on a free game. If any, I won't do it. But there's always that thought in the back of my head. It's always there. You used to play it in Spellbreaker with your friend, and you were so sad when the game died, and then Sky went to shit, and we kind of stopped trying to find games to play together for a good few years. Yeah, that's sad. To be fair, I haven't played Sky in a while, so I don't know how to shit it went or why, but it was already becoming a little bit of a grind fest when I was playing, just to get like costume items, and they were releasing more and more costume items that people clearly really wanted, but for like real money only, and people were like, really? Really? I do remember people getting annoyed. Before I even stopped playing the game, people were already getting a bit annoyed at it. One of my favorite things about Sky, that was just quite... Well, it wasn't one of my favorite things, but it was just a thing I always found funny, was the wind that like pushes you around, that buffets you, would buffet you to different varying degrees depending on... the frame rate. So if you had your game set to 30 or 60 frames, if it was set to 60 frames, the wind would buffet you more, because the amount it buffeted you was tied, like, the ticks were tied to your frame rate. So you'd get buffeted more if you were playing the game at, like, a higher frame rate. Like, make the game look nicer, you suffer for it. The rise of friend slop saved our experience of playing online games together. Peak and Lethal was such a good time. Even that, though, that's getting to a point now where, like, every other week, or even every week at this point, I go onto YouTube, and some YouTubers I watch are playing another friend slop game, and it's just basically the same premise, copy-pasted. And I'm just like, ah. It's Battle Royale games all over again. It's becoming Battle Royale. Like, the first few are great. They were great. They are still great. And then every game became one. And now every game is becoming Friend Slop. Just like every game became Battle Royale. I got so burnt out of Battle Royale, and I think I'm going to get burnt out of friend games. And that sucks. I hate that keeps happening. Peak is still good to this day, to be honest. I've still not actually played Peak. I've watched some videos on it, but I've not actually played it. You literally bought it for me, and we haven't played it together yet. But yeah, so many games started copying Lethal Company, and now so many games are copying Peak. And we've just got so many games that like, oh, they've got a slight mechanic change that makes it unique, but it's basically peak again. Like RV there yet? It's funny. And it's got the mechanic of you're going to get your RV through everything, but it's basically peak again. It's basically just peak. You just don't climb, you drive an RV instead. And that's the era we're in. That's just, all the games are just that now. I'm like, it's just... I miss casual FPSs. I miss when you logged on to a video game, an FPS, you played in a lobby, and everybody was just fucking about and having fun. It wasn't just full of sweaty people that moan at you for not being good. And it was just people fucked about and had fun. And now it's like, oh, you're playing an FPS and you're not trying to make it a career? Why are you even playing an FPS then? Because I want to have fun. When did games stop being about having fun? Hytale is about having fun. Hytale doesn't require you to be an epic gamer girl. And that's why I'm enjoying it. How do I show my character off? Hello, it's me. Look at me go. How do I change? There's a way to change not Z, is not X, because C does that. V! You can play the game in third person. That's a thing. And in my opinion, the third person's... it's a bit better than the Minecraft third person, because you're actually looking over the shoulder instead of the cursor being directly inside your head so you can't see what you're looking at. Why is the Minecraft third person so bad? Have they never played a third-person game before? Then again, they did make an entire game in JavaScript, so... I guess I can't expect much. That's probably a good place to end the game. It's probably a good place to end it, isn't it? To end the game, to end the stream, but also the game, I guess. What am I even saying anymore? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's happened. I've lost it. My mind is gone. Did I ever have a mind to begin with? I don't know. I'm so tired. Thank you very much for watching. Ending on time for once. Ending on time. So... yay. Anyway, goodbye. I will see you next week.